The MMA world just exploded with shocking betrayals, brutal knockouts, and a title fight that has fans losing their minds. From Magomed Ankalaev's rematch talks to Jamahal Hill slamming Alex Pereira's ex, here's everything you need to know. Ankalaev just confirmed that negotiations for a rematch with Alex Pereira are already underway, and he's ready to go. After their first fight, which ended with Magomed dominating Pereira on the ground, fans were left debating whether it was a true championship-worthy performance. Some believe Pereira's lack of wrestling doomed him, while others argue that Magomed simply played it safe. Now, Magomed claims he instantly agreed to the rematch, but there's one problem. Will the UFC actually book it? Pereira, known for his brutal knockout power, has been silent about whether he's fully on board. His team hinted that they want the fight, but might need time to adjust their game plan. Meanwhile, Magomed is keeping the pressure on, calling Pereira's last fight the worst performance of his career. If this fight happens, it could be one of the most anticipated rematches in recent MMA history, but not everyone is convinced that Magomed is the rightful champ. After Magomed Ankalaev secured the light heavyweight title, Yuri Prochazka wasted no time in calling him out. In an explosive interview, Yuri accused Magomed of being a fraud, claiming that his personality in public doesn't match how he acts behind the scenes. According to Yuri, when they met at the UFC Performance Institute, Magomed was friendly and respectful, but now that he has the belt, he's playing the role of a superstar gangster. Not one to back down, Magomed fired back, saying, "I think you are a fraud, and so many guys deserve it more than you. You need to go win some fights." The war of words has left fans wondering if this beef is real or just manufactured hype. Either way, with Yuri still ranked near the top, this fight could happen sooner than expected. But while these two argue, another fighter just suffered a brutal reality check in the octagon. Bobby Green is known for his slick boxing, trash talk, and hands-down style, but that style just cost him in the worst way possible. Over the weekend, Mauricio Ruffy delivered a highlight reel spinning wheel kick that knocked Green out cold in the first round. The MMA community was stunned, with Michael Bisping and Paul Felder breaking down what went wrong. According to them, Green's habit of keeping his hands low left him wide open for a knockout shot that he never saw coming. This loss marks Green's third defeat in his last 4 fights, raising serious questions about his future in the division. His fan-friendly style makes him exciting to watch, but at 38 years old, how much more damage can he take? Some believe he should consider adjusting his approach, while others think his time at the top may be coming to an end. And while Green faces an uncertain future, another champion is stepping back into the cage after suffering 2 brutal knockouts.
He's lost 3 out of his last 4 now, though. I mean, he got badly beaten by Jalen Turner, who we'll talk about in a bit. He also got wheel kicked last night, well, Saturday night. What was the other one as well? Renato Moicano.
And Patty put him out bad with a choke armbar situation.
Yeah.
Pimblett.
Jesus.
So, I mean, he's really had a really rough go, and it just shows you, man, father time, dude.
Despite back-to-back knockout losses, Alexander Volkanovski isn't backing down. At UFC 314, he's set to face rising star Diego Lopez for the vacant featherweight title, and he's promising fans the best version of himself. Critics are concerned that Volkanovski is returning too soon after devastating losses to Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria, both fights that ended with him unconscious on the mat. But Volkanovski isn't worried. He believes he can dominate Lopez everywhere, from striking to grappling, and is confident that his experience will be the deciding factor. However, Lopez has been on an incredible run, with sharp submission skills that could pose a major threat. With Volkanovski determined to prove the doubters wrong, this fight could either be his redemption, or the moment that proves he should have taken more time off. And speaking of taking time off, some fighters believe that Alex Pereira is making a huge mistake by fighting too often. Aljamain Sterling thinks Alex Pereira's biggest weakness isn't his wrestling, it's his schedule. In just 7 months, Pereira defended his title 3 times, a pace that most champions wouldn't even consider. Sterling argues that Pereira isn't giving himself enough time to recover, especially after tough fights against Yuri Prochazka and Jamahal Hill. At 37 years old, Pereira is in dangerous territory. Taking too many fights too quickly can lead to long-term damage. While his warrior mindset is admirable, there's a growing concern that his durability is being chipped away with every fight. Could his aggressive schedule be the reason for his last loss? And while Pereira deals with career questions, his personal life is causing even more drama. After Alex Pereira lost his title, his ex-girlfriend wasted no time in celebrating.
Magomed just had the better night, not by much, but I just think Ankalaev had a better night for sure. And a couple of factors for me, Pereira fights way too often. 3 title defenses in 7 months. That is insanity to do that. And it's not like his fights were pitter-patter fights. You could say the Jamahal Hill one was no damage. Okay, cool. I understand that. The Jerry one, he took some damage in that. And then the Khalil Roundtree fight was a big fight where he took some good shots. And then you go from that, add on to the fact that he bounces back from these fights and he goes right back into the gym almost 1, maybe 2 weeks later. You compound that with the amount of times that he's sparring. When does Pereira give himself, his body and his brain and his chin a chance to take a break and just recover?
She posted a video on Instagram calling his loss karma and instantly sparked a wave of controversy. Jamahal Hill didn't hold back, calling her out for being lame and desperate for attention. According to Hill, she's still fixated on Pereira despite being married to someone else. Even Conor McGregor chimed in with his signature trash talk, mocking her online. Meanwhile, Pereira responded in the most cold-blooded way possible. "I think she should stop mentioning my name because her husband might get jealous." With the drama heating up outside the octagon inside the UFC, executives are furious over something much bigger.
We have a new light heavyweight champion. No more Shama, Kama. So, he lost.
UFC 313 should have been a night to remember, but for many fans, it was a nightmare. ESPN Plus suffered massive streaming issues, leaving people unable to watch after paying for the event. Fighters like Frankie Edgar and Marlon Chito Vera took to social media, furious that they were double charged and still couldn't access the fights. Behind the scenes, TKO Group and the UFC are reportedly livid, with sources saying this disaster could push them to leave ESPN when their contract expires. Luke Thomas pointed out that ESPN Plus has long been a frustrating platform, with poor user experience leading to higher piracy rates. Could this be the final straw in the UFC's relationship with ESPN, and with the sport growing bigger than ever, who will step in as the next broadcast partner? From Magomed Ankalaev's rematch talks to Yuri Prochazka's accusations, brutal knockouts, and ex-girlfriend drama, MMA is more chaotic than ever. If you don't want to miss the next wild story, hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which fight you're most excited for.